Rakata Yahweh, Rakata Yahweh Shah, Rakata Yahweh, Rakata Yahweh Shah, Call Halal, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem, Raha Kadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered across the four winds. And, double honors to the men that taught our elders and apostles so we could have this truth in these latter times. This is your brother, your car Alvin from Great Millstone, Houston. You know, back with another lesson, and we're going to start out right here in Colossians chapter 1. You know, uh, these people seem to want to believe that the Bible is written to everybody, but it's very plain who it's written to, and you just have to pull those things out. Like this is Colossians chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, Paul, an apostle of Yahweh Shah, Mashiach. Yahweh Shah is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Yahweh Shah means he is the deliverer, and Christ is Mashiach, or the anointed, by the will of the Most High, and Timotheus, our brother, to the saints and faithful brethren in the anointed which are at Colosse. Grace be unto you and peace from the Most High, our Father, and the Lord Yahweh Shah, the anointed. Okay, so it's telling you right here who this epistle is written to. It says to the saints. Okay, so who are the saints? It's simple. Who are the saints? Let's get it. 55. It says, this is Psalms chapter 50 and verse 5. It says, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And we all know that the covenant made by sacrifice was in Exodus, the 24th chapter, when Moses sprinkled the blood on the children of Israel, and they all agreed. And here another precept. This is Psalms chapter 148 and 14. It says, he also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. And Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Lord, is he is, or he is the existing one, which is Yahweh. So in Colossians, he said, hey, to the saints and faithful brethren. Okay, let's get brethren. Okay, this is Romans chapter 9 and verse 3. It says, I wish that myself were accursed from the anointed for my brethren. Okay, so it says faithful brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High and the promises. So right there, just those precepts break down who this letter is written to. This letter is written to the Israelites that were scattered into Colosse. We'll get a few more scriptures on this, and then we're going to back it up. It says, to the saints and faithful brethren and the anointed which are at Colosse, grace be unto you and peace from the Most High, our Father, and the Lord Yahweh Shah, Mashiach, or the anointed. We give thanks to the Most High and the Father of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, praying always for you, since we heard of your faith in Yahushua Mashiach, of the love which ye have to all the saints. So okay, so this doesn't include any other people. It doesn't include the Gentiles, the so-called Gentiles, the heathens of the other nations. This is all Israelites, and we're supposed to be able to discern these things. It says to the saints, faithful brethren. Okay, so we know brethren according to the flesh are Israelites. We know the saints are, those that made a covenant with the Most High through sacrifice. So that being said, okay, what happened with the Israelites? What happened to them? I mean, why were they in Colosse? Because the Lord said if we did not keep His commandments, that He would scatter us. Okay, let's get that. Where is it? 30. There we go. Okay, this is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it says, and it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy power have driven thee. Okay, so part of the curses were if you don't obey, the Lord is going to drive, scatter you amongst the heathen. And it says, and shalt return unto the Lord thy power, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul. That then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy power hath scattered thee. So the Lord had scattered the Israelites into Colosse and all the other epistles of the New Testament. Because I mean, look, James 1 and 1. It says, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations. Okay, so right there, brethren, according to the flesh. And it says, to the 12 tribes which were scattered abroad. Okay, some of those 12 tribes were scattered into Colosse. And I mean, when we go into Daniel, it explains, well, shoot. Yeah, when we go into Daniel, it explains that this happened in Daniel and Baruch. We'll get those accounts real quick. This is Daniel chapter 9 and verse 8. It says, O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. And that's a confusion of faces. Well, first of all, the Israelites are not going to look like, they did in the ancient world, because they were scattered. And, this is a shame. This is a shame because we're a great nation. It's a shame unto us to be scattered into other nations and look like heathens. It says, to the Lord our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, our power, to walk in his ways, to walk in his laws, Salakia, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets. Yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done unto Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So, you know, the Lord confirmed his words. He said, this is Daniel 9:13. It says, as it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil has come upon us, yet made we not our prayer before the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua our power, that he might turn from that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. Therefore, the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua watched upon the evil and brought it upon us. For the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua our power is righteous in all his works which he doeth, for we obey not his voice. So, you know, so the curses were poured upon us. You know, the curses were poured upon us because of our disobedience. So part of that is being scattered amongst the other nations. And, you know, the Lord confirmed it. Hey, you made an agreement. You didn't keep your end. Guess what? I'm going to keep my end. That's what the Lord is, a power, you know, immovable power. You know, so he confirmed his words. He did what he was going to say. It's us that didn't do what we were supposed to do. We get another account in Baruch. It's Baruch 2:1. It says, therefore, the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah. That's northern and southern tribe. Salakia. Israel and Judah. It says, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it has come to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. Moreover, he hath delivered them to be subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be a reproach, a desolation among all the people round about, where the Lord hath scattered them. So, you know, all of this, you know, all of these different books are explaining that the Lord has scattered his people into other nations, and the Lord is going to gather his people out of those nations. I mean, it's really simple, you know, but we have been hoodwinked. We have been hoodwinked by the enemy, and you know they've come up with supersessionism, where the church somehow replaces Israel, but the scriptures don't speak of that. The scriptures say that you know, the promises, everything, like what's in Romans 9, everything is for Israel. Like, yeah, right there. Yeah, Deuteronomy 30:3. It says that the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Lord thy God have scattered thee. So, you know, the deliverance is the Lord returning and gathering his people out of all the nations. That's, you know, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. It's like, you know, but people seem not to really get that. Let's get where let's get one. We can get a couple more verses. We can get a couple more, because I wanted to. What was it? This is Revelation chapter 5 and verse 9, and it says, "And they sung a new song, saying, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to our power by the blood, by thy blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. So the Lord scattered us into every kindred, tongue, and nation, but it's still Israelites. It's still Israelites. It's only for Israel. It's still Israelites because the Lord scattered us into every nation. We're going to be looking like every nation under heaven. But the seed still goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I mean, it is what it is. You can believe it. You don't have to believe it. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. This is Revelations chapter 7 and verse 9, and it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindred and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand. So these are all Israelites that were scattered into all nations. These are all, as it says in that Deuteronomy 30. It says that the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. So, I mean, the book of Colossians, the book of Romans, the book of Ephesians, all the books are written to the Israelites exclusively. I mean, in Hebrews, it tells you who the new covenant. Once we're in the new covenant, we can get that real quick because it's only for Israel. We can get that real quick. Uh, Slocky. 387. It says Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 7. It says, for if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, meaning the Israelites, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Okay, the northern and southern tribes. You know, the northern being Israel and Judah being the southern, which Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws in their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. Okay, so that doesn't include anybody else, but it does include those that were scattered into the other lands that look like the other people. I mean, it's really simple. It's really simple. You know, over the course of time, the Israelites were scattered into all of these other different nations, and then, you know, they were living with these heathens, and then they took on their ways, and guess what? They had children with them, and now 10 generations down the line, they look exactly like these heathens, but they're Israelites because the Lord has confirmed his word, because he scattered the Israelites into every nation, every peoples, every tongue. So, with that being said, I like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Roha Kadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Hopefully, this lesson was edifying. Shalom.